Let's set the stage. MetLife Stadium, the absolute pinnacle of the sport. 48 teams walked into this tournament, and man, what a bloodbath it's been. I mean, we're talking bracket-busting upsets left and right. Germany falling to Paraguay in the round of 32? No way anyone saw that coming. And England having their dreams brutally crushed in the 92nd minute by a Marcus Martinez header, absolutely wild. But now, after all that chaos, the dust has settled and only two titans are left standing. On one side, we've got Spain, and they haven't just been good, they've been flawless. They literally haven't trailed for a single second this entire tournament. On the exact opposite side, you have the defending champions, Argentina. They've navigated this absolute gauntlet with a 39-year-old Lionel Messi, relying on what honestly feels like a supernatural ability to snatch wins in the dying seconds.
Okay, let's dive into this, because we aren't just looking at a final here. This is a fundamental clash of footballing philosophies. The data models are completely split, the odds are razor thin, and the narrative stakes? They literally could not be higher. So the big question we're answering in this explainer, does the cold, calculated perfection of Spain's tactical machine completely crush the fairy tale? Or does Messi actually get that ultimate storybook ending?
To figure that out, we're going to follow a quick roadmap today. First, we'll unpack Spain's new Ataka-Taka. Second, we'll look at Argentina's plot armor. Third, we'll run the data matchup. And finally, I'll give you the ultimate prediction.
All right, Section 1, Spain's Ataki-Taka, the tactical machine. So Spain has been on this unbelievable, undefeated run to get to MetLife Stadium. And the craziest part is their absolute suffocating control. Like I said, they haven't trailed for a single second, not one. But listen, if you're picturing that endless, honestly kind of boring sideways passing from the 2010 era, you need to wipe that from your memory right now. Because Spain has evolved. Analysts are calling this brand new 2026 system Ataki-Taka, and it is absolutely lethal. It's a highly vertical, super fast evolution of their traditional possession game. Now, they use possession as a trap. They just hold the ball, lull the defense to sleep, draw them out of position, and then, bam, they ruthlessly bypass them with one singular, lightning-fast vertical strike.
And you don't just have to take my word for it. The numbers totally back this up. Spain is currently leading the entire World Cup in progressive vertical passes. They're slicing through defensive lines with literal surgical precision. And the engine running this whole operation? It's Barcelona's wonderkinder, Lamine Yamal and Pau Cubarsí. You watch these kids play, and they have the icy composure of guys who've been in the league for 10 years. They just blend so perfectly with Spain's elite midfield. I mean, just think about what happened in the semifinals. They dismantled a genuinely terrifying top-tier France squad 2-0. And honestly, they kind of made it look like a casual Tuesday training session.
Which brings us to an absolutely staggering number, 1/3. Because of that suffocating vertical possession system, Spain's midfield and that incredibly young defensive line restrict opponents to an absurd 1/3 of an expected goal per match. 1/3. They have conceded exactly one goal this entire tournament. Just one. So Spain's formula is actually pretty simple. If they score first, that midfield locks the game in a total vice grip, and it's pretty much lights out for the opposition.
But then we get to Section 2, Argentina's plot armor, the mystical inevitability.
Now, what's really fascinating here is the sheer contrast in identities. If Spain has cruised to this final on a freshly paved highway of tactical perfection, Argentina has basically dragged themselves here through the mud. I mean, they were pushed to the absolute brink by teams like Cape Verde and Switzerland. Spain operates like a flawlessly programmed supercomputer, just executing code. Argentina, they rely on pure, unadulterated chaotic drama. It defies all traditional metrics. They carry this massive emotional and historical weight with them, and somehow they thrive in the exact type of chaos that Spain so desperately tries to prevent.
And the craziest thing is, the hard data actually backs up this chaotic narrative. Consider the breakdown of Argentina's 19 tournament goals. 12 of them, so a massive majority, have come after the 75th minute. This is what we're calling the 75th minute surge. There is a literal, almost mystical inevitability about this team late in games. It's like right when their opponents' legs are feeling heavy and the psychological pressure is peaking, Argentina suddenly just finds this entirely new gear.
I mean, just ask England. Remember that crushing semifinal? The Three Lions were up 1-0. It looked totally over. And then, boom, the surge hit. Enzo Fernandez strikes in the 85th minute to tie it up. And then, Lautaro Martinez seals the deal deep into stoppage time. And the guy pulling the strings for both of those devastating, heart-wrenching blows, a 39-year-old Lionel Messi. The thing is, he isn't out there running 90-minute marathons anymore. No, his game has evolved into pure, deadly efficiency. He is picking the exact, precise seconds to tear your heart out.
Moving on to Section 3,
The data matchup. Unstoppable force meets immovable object.
So what actually happens when Argentina's emotional, chaotic grit physically collides with Spain's tactical perfection? Well, we ran the advanced scorecasting models and ELO ratings, which, if you aren't familiar, calculate relative team strength based on historical match results, and this is where the math takes a genuinely surprising twist. Okay, remember how we just talked about Spain being the much higher-performing team statistically? They concede almost nothing, they control the ball perfectly. Despite all of that, the data models actually favor Argentina to lift the trophy at 58%. Take the expected goals projection, for example. Argentina sits at 1.15 compared to Spain's 0.84. Even the odds for a gritty 1-0 victory lean toward Argentina at 16%, over Spain's 11%. So you're probably wondering, how on earth is that possible when Spain has been so undeniably dominant?
Well, the crucial point is that the answer lies in the intangibles. You see, these advanced models aren't just looking at basic stuff like pass completion rates. They actually account for historical mental resilience and that unquantifiable clutch factor you only see in high-stakes finals. The bottom line is this: Spain thrives when they control the narrative. They need the game to be orderly and predictable. But Argentina thrives when the narrative breaks down into absolute war. And the predictive models recognize that in a World Cup final, chaos isn't just possible, it's pretty much guaranteed.
Which perfectly tees up our final section, Section 4, the ultimate prediction for how the 2026 final plays out.
So we've seen Spain's tactical system, we've analyzed Argentina's late-game surges, and we've crunched all the probabilities. Based on all of this data, here is our chronological breakdown of exactly how these 90-plus minutes are going to unfold on the pitch at MetLife Stadium. We see the game playing out in 3 distinct acts. For the first 60 minutes, Spain is going to absolutely dominate. That progressive tiki-taka passing will successfully pull Argentina's midfield completely out of shape, and the math says Spain will likely grab the opening goal. But, as Harry Kane so bitterly pointed out after the semis, trying to hold a 1-0 lead against Scaloni's men is basically a death sentence. So Act 2 kicks in right around the 75th minute. Argentina is going to throw the absolute kitchen sink forward. And Spain's young backline, Yamal, Cubarsí, look, as brilliant as they are going to face a level of suffocating psychological pressure that they have literally never experienced in their lives. Under that pressure, Messi is going to find a tiny pocket of space, create a moment of pure magic, and drag this game kicking and screaming into extra time or penalties. And in that final, dramatic act, that is exactly where Emi Martinez steps up to become the absolute villain for the opposition once again.
Which brings us to the climax, my official, data-backed prediction. Argentina survives the early Spanish suffocations. They force the game into the chaotic trenches where they excel, and they make history. I'm calling it. They defeat Spain, lifting the trophy to become the first team since Brazil way back in 1962 to win back-to-back FIFA World Cups. The last dance ends in ultimate glory.
But hey, at the end of the day, the real reason we watch is because football is beautifully, sometimes heartbreakingly unpredictable. So I gotta ask you, does Spain's incredible tactical genius successfully crush the fairy tale before it even starts, or does Messi truly get that ultimate storybook ending? What do you think? Drop your exact score predictions down in the comments right now. Thank you so much for exploring the data and the tactics with me in today's Explainer. It's been an absolute blast breaking this all down with you. Keep learning, keep analyzing, and most importantly, enjoy the final.